I'll start. So let me start with the topic for today is your guide to the certification path in Six Sigma. Um, I guess Six Sigma is not a new thing. Most of you must have heard about it. And people might ask you, okay, most of the people I've seen these days want to do a certificate course in Six Sigma. And that's what we are trying to, talk about today. What exactly is Six Sigma and uh, you know how you can be Six Sigma certified. So before I go there, let me introduce myself. I'm Vikas Gera. I'm the founder for Thought at Work. It's a boutique training and consulting company into process and people excellence. We work with major MNCs in India, abroad, and working on how we can actually create an operational excellence culture there. We do trainings, we do certifications, we also do audits, and we also doing implementation of Six Sigma and Lean in those organizations. About myself, I've done my postgraduate in finance and marketing from Birla Institute for Management and Technology in Greater Noida. There's some misspelled there, which I think just you can ignore that. I'm a mechanical engineer. I've worked with many companies like Carrier, Whirlpool, Hewlett Packard, WNS, not only in India, worldwide, in different geographies. I've implemented a Lean Six Sigma across all geographies. Uh, my clients and my customers, they call me more like a maverick who actually wants to challenge status quo, things which have been set in past. I always try to look at the business side of Lean Six Sigma, the practical side, as we all love to do that. I'm not, you can not look to me as, person who only wants to talk about theory. We will talk about examples from the real life. I was the first one who implemented Lean manufacturing in the consumer durable segments in 96. That is some highlights about my achievements. I was also the first one who did Lean Industrial Engineering Six Sigma into the ITS shared services in Hewlett Packard way back in 2003. That's a little bit of my background. The agenda for today's webinar is we are going to talk about what is Six Sigma, where it all started, how does Six Sigma work, what are the type of certifications available for you for the people who want to either make a career in Six Sigma or want to have that as an additional qualification for their, more like either for their promotion, future career aspect, or also making them strengthening themselves, right? It's just like the tools which you should know for doing improvements at your workplace, whether you're working in human resources, sales, or marketing, or any other function. It doesn't matter. You can still learn Six Sigma and you can still get benefit out of it to improve your workplace, improve your work, improve your processes. We are also going to talk about different kind of belts which we actually have as a certification and what are the top organizations who are benefiting from Six Sigma. We will talk about that. So we start with what is Six Sigma. Okay, that's the we want to start it. So Six Sigma, helps organization work towards uh, improving, getting the defects to 3.4 defects per million opportunities, which is equal to process efficiency of 99.99966 percentage. So if you see 999 is coming to three places and then we have 66. So it is not 100, but it is very, very close to 100% quality. Okay. Six Sigma focuses on reducing variation. So how you do that? You reduce variation within the processes. So each process, if you really see, will always have some variation. There is no process where there are no variations. Six Sigma works on reducing those variation. So Six Sigma is a Greek letter, right? The origin of Six Sigma or Sigma will be a Greek letter, which was used to designate the distribution or the spread. So, when you are actually not consistent every time, so there will be something called average or we call as mean, right? And then there is a spread around that mean. So if I ask you, there are, 20 people in this class, and we say their average weight is 60 kg, but that doesn't mean everyone is 60 kg. Okay, there might be one guy who is 50 kg, there might be one guy who is 70 kg, one is 55, one is 65. but the average is 60. So now this variation of weight, which is like 55, 60, 65, 70, all this is the spread of around the average or mean. That is how we calculate. And Six Sigma is not only about defect reduction, it goes beyond defect reduction. It goes in generally improving your any business metrics. So any business which you have, that actually all the metrics of your business can be improved by using Six Sigma. I see there's some more people who are joining a little late. I don't know if you already have an experience of dialing into a webinar, but if I hope all of you are able to see my screen and can hear me. There is a question box here. You can ask your questions. I will answer to them at an appropriate time, either during the presentation or at the end of the presentation. I keep looking at that question window, and in case you don't understand any of the slides, you can ask those questions, and I will take those questions during the webinar. Six Sigma also goes beyond defect reduction to emphasize business improvement in general, which actually might be cost reduction, it can be the cycle time improvement, it can be improved customer satisfaction, or for that matter, even employee satisfaction. So if you have in your organization's balance scorecard, you know there are normally four quadrants. There are financial metrics, there are customer metrics, there is employee metrics, and there is also metrics around, in general, the around strategy, okay, the change which you want to do. So Six Sigma can actually work in any of those areas. I'll move to the next slide. Now, many people ask me that because people understand different things from Six Sigma. And luckily or unluckily, all of them are true. So people think Six Sigma is a measurement system. I answer them, yes, it is a measurement system. Many organizations measure their quality in percentages. Now people say, okay, how does it matter if I measure my quality in percentages or in Six Sigma? I'll say it actually matters a lot. And we are going to see in coming slides how does it matter actually. But yes, I think the scale of magnitude decides about how much improvement is good enough. So if you're measuring in percentages and you are 95% or 96%, you feel you're already there. You know, you get that complacency. But you are actually measuring your quality in Six Sigma, then 95% really doesn't look very good when we convert them into a Sigma score. So then actually, you know, people will question your 4 Sigma or 3 Sigma, what you will have, and they will say actually how you can go to from 4 Sigma to 5 Sigma and 6 Sigma, and we will see that in the coming slides. Six Sigma also is a measure of consistency. So it is not about most of the organization, most of the processes, it is not about the one work they do. They actually do work day in, day out. They actually do work which is happens every day of the month, every day of the week, every day of the year. And there are many transactions you do, whether you're working in an insurance industry or a banking or manufacturing. You are doing hundreds of those transactions every day by one person, and there are 100 people team, 500 people team. So there are millions of transactions which happens in a year. So it really is important that your all of your customers satisfied, and that can only happen when you are giving consistent performance on your processes. That's why it is also a measure of consistency. Sigma is a Greek letter word. We all know that. No, kind of, surprise on that. Six Sigma is also a business strategy. So if you actually, as an owner, decide to set stringent targets or tough targets, then actually, you actually tell guys, I'm not happy with average. I'm not happy with good. I only want the best. So that can very well part of your leadership, can be part of your strategy. Six Sigma is also can be used as a discipline change process. No improvement is possible without change. Actually, change management and process improvements are two sides of the same coin. So Six Sigma help you actually with the discipline change process, because when you're going with logic and you're talking, then everyone understands, what you're saying is very important, and how you will help that change process is also very important. Six Sigma is also a problem solving approach, right? So it also tells you how we can actually solve problems. So that is also going to be there. We'll little bit talk about you know, how it started. So little bit, let's see the history of Six Sigma. If you see in mid 1980, most of the people think Six Sigma is G has done, or people always, when we talk Six Sigma, they think Jack Welch was the father of Six Sigma. Actually, Jack Welch was not the one who started Six Sigma. It was Bill Smith, right, who was working in Motorola. Uh, he actually started Six Sigma. And why they did? Because Motorola wanted to reduce the defects. And it was somewhere in mid 1980s when actually Chairman Bob Galvin implemented across all the sub-function. That's the where the history goes back. G incidentally was also not the second company who actually implemented Six Sigma. It was Allied Signal, which is now, not. I think that company has been taken over, and but Allied Signal was the second company which actually started with Six Sigma in 1991. It was only in 1995, which was 15 years after Motorola implemented Six Sigma, that Jack Welch actually decided to implement Six Sigma. So Light Signal CEO was a friend of Jack Welch, and they were just playing golf one day, and during the game of golf, they both talk about, and then the CEO of Light Signal spoke about that how they are doing, and they have very strong philosophy, approach, problem solving way. And Light Signal actually gave a history of how they started from Motorola. Jack Welch got very interested. Jack Welch was a very dynamic and very strong engineering background person, so he could understand that this is really effective. The Allied Signal has been taken over by Honeywell, right? That is where the Allied Signal was merging. So now you can say Honeywell was the number two company because it's an Allied Signal was being taken over by the Honeywell. And then Jack Welch started implementing it. And then in next 5 years, it was established across all thing. And now when I'm talking of 2015, that's where how many organizations, 129 organizations are implementing this roughly. And this number keeps changing. So don't worry tomorrow if it increases to 150 or 160, that's very much possible. What you see on the scale below is a history of quality. It's not a history of Six Sigma, but it's a history of quality. So it's the quality as such function, where it's primarily, so quality is not about the quality function, quality department. It is about quality of anything you do. So human resource function also has quality metrics, if they hire wrong people, if they promote wrong people, if they really are not able to control their employee motivation, employee satisfaction, all that actually can be same as sales, same as supply chain, so same as finance, right? So Six Sigma is actually going to be needed in all the processes of an organization. But initially, quality or Six Sigma were more deployed to the main products or the main processes. So the Whitney actually, he came up with the interchangeable parts. Before that, there was no concept of, that one part and two part. I think they are interchangeable because everything was made to the fitment. You can't have, you are not having concepts of drying and this has to be the same. So you just used to make things which actually fit with each other. But tomorrow, if you have to change it, it just was not possible to really, get and change that within things. So there was no concept of mass production. They were all one piece thing which were happening. Next 40 years and 70 years, I think the concept of go no go gauges come in. Those of you who are not from manufacturing background and they are attending this webinar, for them gauges might be a little new word for them, but let me explain it. Gauges help you to it's more like a quality control thing. So suppose you have to produce think of an ATM machine, right? Where you have a slot where you can put your ATM card, right? Now, go no go gauges where you can put your card and it actually you can check it if the card is right or wrong, right? When you're manufacturing. So it's something like that. You make gauges in your manufacturing process where you can put your part, where you can check it if that is the right size which you have to make. And then there are normally two kind of gauges. So suppose your dimension is, it has to be 10 mm by say 50 mm. So it will, there will, and then we have tolerance. So 10 can go to 10.1 or 9.9. So then if it is less than 9.9, it is rejected. If it is more than 10.1, then again it is rejected. So tolerance you have is 9.9 to 10.1. So there will be a gauge where you will reject it, which will check off if it is less than 10.1. So that gauge will call as a no-go gauge, because if it is more than 10.1, it will not go inside. And go gauge will be that if it actually has to go. So if it is between that size only, then it can go. So that is the check you used to do. And then the British Standards Organization came in. Henry Ford came in with the concept of assembly line, which actually started the mass production thing from the assembly line perspective. Before that, there was no even mass production. In 1924, Walter Sheward actually started with the charts. So Sheward is very popular in terms of the control charts. That's where the statistical process control were introduced. Now, statistical process control is a technique by which you can know if your processes are in control. If your processes are in control, then your product will be in control. When I say in control, it means you're not producing something which is getting rejected. It can be any transactions you have, but it was actually finally, exercised during the World War II. So what was happening during the World War, when the American soldiers were fighting, in the battlefield, their bullets were very defective. When I say defective, it means when they were trying to put bullets into their guns, they were not going inside because their sizes were not right. Exactly, think of that no-go gauges which I'm talking. So you are having a soldier which is standing on the battlefield, which is facing an enemy. Enemy is shooting him with his bullets, and he has a bullet, he has a gun, but his bullet is not going inside the gun, and he actually was, he died on the battlefield. Now this was a big concern for Americans, and that's where they started using the go no go gauges. So go no go gauges, the statistical process control, was in existence from 1920s, which was when Walter Sheward did, but it actually got implemented only during the World War II. And the silly thing which happens, that's how the world is, and the organizations and the things work. After the World War, they stopped using it again. The American industry I'm talking. So they were only implementing it only for the guns and the bullets, and only during the World War II, and they stopped using it again. And you all know, made in Japan success story. Zuran, somewhere in 1950s, 54, went to Japan after the World War II, when Japan was totally, destroyed after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear bomb. There was no industry, there was no quality, and they were very hungry to really learn and, kind of doing good for them and for their country. That's where the Zuran, who was an American, started teaching Japanese on quality. And then actually Japanese have taught rest of the world quality. They learned from American, but they were teaching rest of the world. So lean came in Japan. The concepts later, came in. Later, Phillips Crosby in 1980 came with the concept called quality is free, which later became more like the TQM philosophy, total quality management philosophy, where the idea was that how we can have zero defect. When the zero defect came in, then people started thinking of Six Sigma, because Six Sigma also used to talk about zero defect or 3.4 defects per million. That's where the Six Sigma journey has arrived. Okay, this is how it happens. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, this is a famous quote from Jack Welch, who was the CEO for GE at one point in time. He says Six Sigma is the best training that an organization can give to its employees. It's even better than sending them to Harvard Business School. So he actually compared Six Sigma with Harvard Business School, and he said this is much more important than giving training and sending your people to Harvard Business School, which is a big statement he made actually. Now this is the slide I was talking some time back, that how different it is to measure in percentages than measure in Six Sigma. Just focus on the title here, which says classical view on quality. It talks about quality 99%. So many of us, when we are at 99% score, it can be in quality or it can be in your studies when you were studying, you all feel this is very good, 99% is very good. But when we talk of Six Sigma, 99% is only equivalent to 3.8 Sigma. That's what it is actually, 3.8 Sigma. Now there is a company which is at 3.8 Sigma, but then they are at 99% quality. When we look at the Six Sigma view of quality, then what is Six Sigma? If 99% is not Six Sigma, then what is Six Sigma? So going from 99% to 99.99966% actually becomes Six Sigma. So you see the journey from going to 3.8 Sigma to Six Sigma, and you're not going to measure your quality when you have in percentages. You're not going to measure quality in 99.99966%. You will not say my quality is 99.0125%. You will never say my quality is 99.112% or 99.2345%. You never talk like that. So it's very important to have a scale which is telling you from 3.8 Sigma, you have reached 3.9 Sigma, 4 Sigma, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and it's not a linear scale. That's also you should understand. The scale is not linear, which means 3.8 Sigma to 4 Sigma does not mean 4 Sigma to 4.2 Sigma. So as you are jumping those two points in Six Sigma, the level of difficulty is increasing drastically. And when I say drastically, I mean it because it requires sometimes, just to stay at that level actually means very tough. Forget about improving. Okay. Now let's look at these examples which have been listed there. They will even going to open the mind, in the sense of what does it mean. So when I say 3.8 Sigma to Six Sigma, or when I say 99% to 99.99966%, now let's see the business impact of that. Let's see the customer impact of that. So if you see this 99% quality, which is 3.8 Sigma, means that you are actually having 20,000 lost article of mail per hour. Okay, which actually means, it's like an example they've taken from some courier company, or I think it is the US department, postal department. But when the same department works from 99%, it changes to 99.99966%. It actually just means 7 article lost per hour. So from 20,000, you get down to 7. That's the amount of business impact. So this is very important for you to understand, right? That 20,000 lost article can be reduced to just 7 in case your quality goes up from 99% to 99.9996%. This is not even an improvement of 1%. But that 0.99966% is equally that much is the impact. Take another industry, another example. So this is like the Jal Nigam or the water department, which is supplying water. It means unsafe water of 15 minutes every day when you are actually at the 99%. But when you actually change it, it means 1 unsafe minute every 7 months. So from every day 15 minutes, you have changed to 1 unsafe minute every 7 months, which again is very, very promising, right? Very, very great. Now let's take some more example here. If you are into the medical industry, the healthcare industry, if you are actually at 99%, which means there is a surgeon who is doing surgeries, and you are having 99%, there's a big hospital there. It means 5,000 incorrect surgical operations per week. They actually can go down to 1.7 incorrect operations per week. So you're again coming down to 1.7 from 5,000. If you are in an airline industry, it means 2 short or long landings at major airports every day. But then that improvement may result into 1 short or long landing every 5 years. So from every day, you go to every 5 years. If you are in an insurance policy industry, it means 600 new policies delivered with errors. versus one new policy delivered with errors every 5 months. So from 1 month you go to 5 months and 600 goes to one. This is again a 3000. So the impact you see is like 1000 times, right? Not exactly 1% improvement, 1000 times. If you are in a telecommunication call industries, 1,80,000 lost calls can go down to 61 lot calls. If you are in a electrical distribution, electrical supply, that means no electricity for almost 7 hours each month can go down to no electricity 1 hour for every 34 months. All of these are just to show you the impact, just to show you the highlight the business impact of that. And these are all real examples taken from the real industries. Let's little bit talk about the different kind of certifications which are available in Six Sigma. Let's talk about those little bit. So these are the different certification, as you can see. Um, and again, there's no structured, like you have to have all the certification. There are many organizations who don't have, who only have green belt, black belt, master black belt. The many companies who don't even have champion. But this is more like an ideal state where I'm saying where you're giving people more like a career path. You have white belt, building some culture of quality, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, master black belt, and champion. So in total, we have like 6 levels. And a little bit talk about what these levels. So about myself, I'm a Six Sigma champion, and I've had a team of 100 master black belts who have reported into me and done my all the belts. Six Sigma white belt, if we talk about, I think this is a basic belt which we have, which is more about how someone can just develop an attitude of problem solving. Okay, we really don't teach him everything, but we just help him develop solve the local problems, small problems. He doesn't work on big projects or Six Sigma project teams, but he still can work on reducing problems. So I'll say this is more like a compulsory training you have to give as a part of orientation to all the people who are joining an organization. And this will just help people appreciate quality, people appreciate Six Sigma, people actually understand the concept from an awareness perspective. Yellow and green belt, here you are actually participating, people are learning with an expectation that tomorrow they will actually become the project team members. They will actually review the process improvements, which are going to be coming as a part of the project. So this guy can be actually like a project lead, assistance to the project lead, helps him in data collection, analyzing, and he can also lead small projects, right? This is what our expectations are from this belt, green belt and yellow belt. Okay, I have some questions. Let me see that. Okay. Can you just update how Six Sigma will help me in payment industry? This is Nath, okay, Kashinath, okay. So Kashinath, payment industry is like you are into accounts payable function where you're paying your vendors, or you mean something else like credit card. So what is exactly? Can you little bit elaborate me on that when you say payment industry? Okay, just you can type it. I want to understand what is actually mean by payment industry. So I don't know if there's an industry who is only meant to pay. Okay, so I will love to be part of that industry only pays. Okay. I want to understand that. Um, so black belt and the master black belt, they have people who are working at complex projects. They also help other people. They coach them, master black belts. They also provide resources. They actually are looking at when the a green belt can't solve the problem, can't understand the problem, then they actually also help him, guide on these things. They coach, they train, and there's a big difference between coaching and training, right? This is very important for you to understand that the coaching is where you are developing some skills, and training is where not necessary trainings are going to be developing skill, they can also be knowledge sharing. Okay, I have one more question from Priya. I think Kashinath, you can actually elaborate me your more question on the payment industry. Want to understand that? I guess you are more like talking of Visa or PayPal. Is that the industry you're talking about? Just help me understand that. Then you are more like a payment, right? In terms of intermediary. Does the certification? This is a question from Priya. And does the certification have to be achieved one after the other? And what is the time required for becoming a master black belt? This is a good question, Priya. So yes, I think you have to go for certification one after another. It is just like, I will suggest you don't skip first, second, third floor. Don't jump into the fourth floor directly, because it will not be able. You will not be able to be effective then. So I will say you should give some time to each of these belts. Uh, Minimum 6 months, I'll say. If you ask me as my recommendation, I'll say minimum 6 months, because you should do at least one or two projects. You should at least get some, confidence in terms of applying these tools. But yes, I think there's some people who want to do fast can always jump on. But 6 month minimum is recommended. To become a master black belt, you actually, again, here I think, again, it's not a linear scale. When I say 6 months, doesn't mean 5 belts, so 2.5 years you can actually become a master black belt. That will be a wrong expectation. I will, you may be setting from yourself. So you have to think of this as white belt, yellow belt, green belt. You can do this in kind of 1 year, 1.5 year time frame. Because I told you white belt should be more like part of your orientation. Anyone who joins an organization should undergo that training. So it's done the moment you land up in an organization. After 6 months, you can do a yellow belt. After 6 months, you can do a green belt. So you can actually become a green belt in 1 year from the day you join an organization. Black belt, I'll say, give after green belt, give yourself 1 year and then go for a black belt. And after black belt, give yourself like 3-4 years time and then go for a master black belt. Champions are more like sponsors, right? They are more like coaches. They are more like helping you get the resources. So champions necessarily are your people, very senior people in the organization. For them, application of tool is not very much required. They should only appreciate it. But they are the resourceful, powerful people within the organization who will help you maneuver your project. Okay, that is how this works. Okay, I have one more question now from Praveen. Okay, Praveen has a question. Can this be integrated with agile based project? Yes, definitely it can be integrated with agile based projects. Agile basis is lean, you know. So agile was worked with that lean philosophy in mind. I mean, it's more than lean because you are tailoring it for a different industry, different job requirements. But agile has already taken many of the components of lean, and you can actually use Six Sigma with that. Six Sigma is more like a problem, as we're telling different phases of Six Sigma, more like a problem solving. So definitely you can club it with agile. There are companies who are having different methodologies. So agile, as I understand, is more of a project management methodology. So more to take care of the user requirement which are coming rather than waiting. So you're saying break it into small modules which are manageable, instead of looking at the complete thing. Six Sigma is helping you to reduce your defects, reduce your variation. So agile is not about reducing variation, right? That's a big difference, but they can go hand in hand. Okay, now there is another question. What are the prerequisite for the certification? Is there a minimum work experience required? Yeah, I think white belt, I will say I'm okay to have a fresher coming and doing it. Um, Yellow belt also, I'm okay with someone 3 to 6 months of work experience can do it. Green belt, I'll say at least 1 year of work experience and then you should do it. Okay. and black belt, I'll say 5 years of quality experience you should have, because if you don't are not having clarity on the fundamentals, you shouldn't be trying to jump the bandwagon, right? Okay. I hope that answers your question, Priya, right? I have Kashi now explaining me about his role and his industry. Payment industry means Visa, MasterCard. That's what I was guessing too. Thanks for clarifying, Kashinath. American Express, yes, all of that. RuPay, yeah, these are the payment industries. How Six Sigma will help? Okay, beautiful question. Very nice question, Kashinath. So, any industry, for that matter, payment, will have some quality parameters, will have some turnaround times, will have some, customer satisfaction surveys. Uh, I know it's an automated industry, right? But then to make that happen day in, day out in an automated way, troubleless, defectless, I'm sure you may be maintaining a lot of process metrics, right? To really run that kind of surgical operation as payment industry is working on, because there is no scope for error, there is no chance of error, you can't really do an error in a payment industry. Now with that strong an industry, you will have even stronger stringent process metrics. There will be very tough do's and don'ts, right? This has to happen, this hasn't to happen. I think that's where you can apply the Six Sigma on the process metrics. Does that help, Kashina? Okay, Priya has one more question. Basically, for employees of which department it is useful? I think, Priya, you were not maybe there in the. Okay, thanks, Kashi. This will help me. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you're saying this will help you. Because I'm telling Kashi, when I actually started my journey in Six Sigma, there were many people who used to doubt Six Sigma, and eventually over last 20 years of the Six Sigma implementation, everyone has finally, now no one is questioning Six Sigma. People are questioning effectiveness, but that's more of a question to the leadership team than to Six Sigma, right? It is just like Americans also question Japanese when they were actually not able to produce the right quality. So I'll just question that. Don't question Japanese. Don't question Lean. Just question your own philosophy, your own leadership, your own approach. Because if you put garbage in, you will get garbage out, right? So that's not that's a problem we all have in all industries. So if Six Sigma is not effective, it is basically the leadership team of that organization is not effective, rather than questioning Six Sigma. So Priya, your question was, I guess, I just lost it, I think, in the flow of discussion. Can you repeat your question, Priya? The last question which you had, can you just type it again for me? Okay, yeah. Which department it is useful? So all department Six Sigma is useful, as I was telling you. If you only apply Six Sigma into your, so there are two kind of processes in an organization. One we call as the primary processes, secondary we call as the secondary processes. So primary processes is the one which is the core process. So for a payment industry, what Kashinath is working in, primary processes will be paying, or acting that an intermediary for the payment. That's a primary process. But to really make that happen, they will also have technology, they will also have an IT team, they will also have a sales and marketing team. So Six Sigma can be applied in secondary processes, which is means human resources, sales and marketing, supply chain, finance, every. I have applied actually Six Sigma in all the processes in an organization. So to answer your question, make it short, any process, anywhere in the organization. The only thing is it has to be a repeatable process. So process definition is it is repeatable. So if something is only happening once, obviously you are not going to capture data for that, and you can't apply Six Sigma in there. So I'll move into the next slide. The champions, as I already explained, they are more like the mentors or the teacher or the coaches. That is what they actually do.
So they are the one who are more like guides, sponsors, powerful people. It is not about that every master black belt will become a champion, or every champion will actually have to go through the master black belt. So there's no relation as such that to become a champion you have to be a master black belt first. That's not what is needed in this case. So there might be a very senior person in your organization who is only undergoing for a champion training. He is not even a master black belt or a black belt. That can also happen. Okay, so let me look at this slide. So this is just an how we are certifying you. So there is an international association for Six Sigma certification, which is called IASSC. So that exam is conducted by a third party. So we don't conduct it internally, but a third party conducts it internally. And we have three certifications currently: yellow belt, green belt, and black belt. So yellow belt is like $195 certification, which is like 1.5 hours, 60 questions. That's how it done. um, Green belt is 3 hours, 100 questions, to $95, and this is what you pay to them directly, not to us. And $395 is for a black belt exam. So this is the three levels which we have. You can see it's 1.5 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours. As the difficulty level is increasing, questions also increase: 60, 100, and 150. So we will go to who is using Six Sigma, right? Obviously, there are some organizations who are using Six Sigma. Let's look at that. So it is used across industries. All the example which I shared earlier were from different industries, and everyone is using the Six Sigma. Also, it is used in the service industries, telecom industries, banking, IT, escape, you name it, it is being used. So whichever industry you're working in, first of all, please take that doubt in your mind whether my industry needs Six Sigma or not. So the answer is very simple for me. Yes, your industry needs Six Sigma. The second question people ask is, I'm working in X function, he's working in Y function. Um, which functions, like what Pri asked? All functions need quality. Quality is gone beyond product and services. Quality is more now, has to be adhered by all the function. No one can afford rework in any process. No one can afford a defect in any process. In fact, I'll say quality is more needed for the secondary processes than the primary processes. How organizations get benefit from Six Sigma? Enormous ways. Quality, cost, delivery are the three things which gets improved when we use it. The buzz here is better, faster, cheaper, right? If you really are working in any industry, process velocity, or which we say faster, will be needed. When I say better, it means improving quality, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction. When I say cheaper, you will always have a focus on reducing cost. All three are needed. Removal of wastage, maximizing customer satisfaction, you know and zero defect products and services. We say, Zuran, quality is free. Quality can only be free when you have a zero defect product and services. You can actually use Six Sigma for increasing sales, right? Here you can look at, there are 10 salesmen, all 10 are having different results. You actually can do gauge R&R study, which we have a tool in Six Sigma, which can tell you how much of success is repeatable, how much of success can be reproduced. There's a big difference between when I say can you repeat it versus when I say can you reproduce it. And we are going to talk about when you're going to attend the Six Sigma classes. But in a nutshell, it can result into not only saving costs, reducing costs, but also improving sales, improving overall productivity. You can make your organization data driven. Data or the information is becoming so important, which actually can happen when you have a Six Sigma culture. A faster cycle time, empowering employees, right? So you also have more satisfaction when you're doing all this. And again, if you are of an organization which is helping people to grow in terms of their skills, knowledge, people are also going to be working longer in those organizations. So there is a direct connect between your attrition and your Six Sigma culture. Can this recording will be shared with the group? Yes, this recording will be shared with the group, Parveen. After the webinar is over, it is being shared on the side and you can go through this recording again. Let's look at who are the people who have benefited and how much. Again, this list is not exhaustive. We are just putting in few examples, few things which are everyone knows it. Airtel, G, LG. We're just quoting some numbers which are coming from them. G has realized benefits of $2 billion, 1 billion with a dollar of 66 rupees to a dollar. It actually means around more than 12,000 crores of Indian rupees. That company which has saved 12,000 crores of rupees from their bottom line. Uh, we know that G was the first company who implemented Six Sigma in services and offshoring. Okay, that's what they did. Motorola reduced in process defects by over 300 fold. This is Motorola story, which saved them $11 billion. Again, this is 5 times, more than 5 times over G has saved. Motorola is much bigger. Airtel, again, to 50% of RA in the first year. LG has done close to 850K saving of US dollar, and Qualtech has done close to 20 million US dollar in 2 years, of time of Six Sigma. These are just hard numbers, which helps you kind of, get that confidence on this. Okay, Priya has a question: how we will apply our knowledge learned through Six Sigma, uh, whether on a software, okay, or manually. Okay. So Priya, looks like you are a software developer, and then you want to understand, if you learn Six Sigma, can you apply it on your software? Obviously, I'm not going to teach you how to program. We are not going to teach you a programming language here. But what I'm going to teach you is actually how you can make sure you don't do defects while you're doing it. I'm not going to substitute for that knowledge which is needed to program or to do programming. Six Sigma is not a substitute for that, but it will help you manage your data better, manage your information better, and I'm sure you will not be a programmer throughout your life until as you want that to be. So you will be working in an environment where there are certain wastages, certain cost in your work area. You can use Six Sigma in those areas. And tomorrow, if you are changing an industry or you plan to change your role, then you will be more qualified to do that if you have a Six Sigma certification. Any knowledge, any skill which you require may not help you to do your current job better. I'm assuming it will do most of the cases, but I'm just giving you a benefit of doubt. Even if it doesn't help you in your current job better, it can always make you more employable from a future perspective. Does that help your question, Priya? And Parveen, I guess I've answered you, so that should be fine. Let me move to the next slide. I have one more question. Okay, the question is from Priya. Mean we will be able to participate in planning and decision making in the organization? Priya, again, I'm not the one who will decide that for you, for your organization, but you are making yourself more capable. So the opportunities you get in your life are a factor of your capabilities. So, you're going to influence your decision maker within your organization. You're going to, so you have to work on yourself, and opportunities are going to come to you. That's the law of nature, right? Law of business. But if you are not capable, even if an opportunity will strike, you may not be getting the benefit. So I'm just helping you to improve that capability of problem solving as a professional through this course. There are people who have attended my course, and many times they say we don't have problem within our organization, but when I'm little digging further and little having a conversation, then they admit that they have a lot of problems, but they don't have a culture to solve the problem. I'm not really, again, so for that, I think I can help you there to really create that culture within the organization, but that's a bigger problem we need to address.
obviously one certificate course and only Priya doing it will not help you change that culture. Then we have to work with your leadership team top down. I hope that helps. Okay, thank you, Priya. So looks at the popular user of Six Sigma. I mean, these are India, international, abroad. I think companies who are using it. I worked with a couple of these companies. I worked. Some of them are my clients, and that's where the our users are in there. You can just look at that. This is again another slide like previous slide, which talks about the rewards different companies have got. uh, Again, more help you understand the value Six Sigma has been given to the industry. And this, if you add for all the 127 organizations which have implemented, this will going much more than what you see in here. I'll little bit now explain you about the Edureka course here. It is a live online class. Like today we are having this class, more of a webinar, but the classes will be exactly like this. It will be instructor-led classes. I'm going to be your instructor. Someone else will be coming in case I'm not around. Um, these recordings will be in the learning management system. We call it LMS. Someone asked this question, can I see that? And I said, yes, you can see that. So for all classes, you will see recording. So suppose you're missing the first 15 minutes and you were not able to dial in, you can actually look at the recording later. So it gives you that flexibility. Uh, from an administrative side, there's going to be 24 by 7 class support, which will be there with you. You can always, ask questions, clarify your doubts with the people with me. So I'll be responding back to you on that. Module wise quiz. So for each module, you will have a quiz. So this will just help you to brush up your knowledge, test your knowledge. Uh, we will also ask you to work on a project. So you will actually get a project which not from me. You will pick a project during the course, and the course might be of 20 hours, but I am telling you, you have to work 200 hours outside the course, right? So it is that the time you will spend, and obviously you get a certificate which is verifiable from an external organization. Okay, I have a question from Kashinath. He says, what I understand is Six Sigma is for quality or to deliver the quality products. Okay, that's a very narrow definition of Six Sigma. That was a conventional definition, Kashi. That I agree with you. This was the traditional classical view of quality, that quality is meant for product and services. Now, tell me, Kashinath, you're working for an organization, working on some software development or in a manufacturing, making cars. Uh, what will happen if you apply for a leave and your payroll function has detected 2 days of salary instead of 1 day of salary? Now, the payroll department is not your product or service, right? But as an employee, your employee satisfaction will get impacted in case they will detect more salary than what they should detect. So don't you think they should improve quality to your payroll function? Don't you think they should actually have a problem solving attitude? They should listen to the customer, right? This is an example I'm giving you to counter that it is not only needed for the main product or services, it is needed everywhere. Okay. You have been asking questions, but we have another 3 minutes to go, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions now. If someone has not asked questions, he can ask me now. Kashinath, Gopikrishan, Ashok, you were quiet. Any questions from you, Ashok? Nikita, you are also quiet. Any questions? Subhunath, if you have some questions, I see a couple of you. Okay, I have one more question from Priya. Could you please repeat the slide 1 to 5? Priya, we don't have time. I'm so sorry for this. We are already, the webinar is over. But you can actually have a look on the slide. You can ask, that support. that you have some questions, I can actually answer your queries later. Okay. Okay, I have some more questions. What would be the investment towards the course preparation? I guess you can ask Edureka. These are the questions you should ask Edureka. They will just answer you. I'm not covering that today. Your PMI certifications in progress. PMI is very different from Six Sigma. There's no overlap here. So you can do your PMI, which is very good investment you're doing. I will recommend PMI for project management, program management. But Six Sigma is a different tools. There's no overlap. You can do both. Okay, you're saying just display. Okay, I'll display Priya. I'll display Priya. 1 second. Ashok, you can ask this question directly. You can do it. Okay. I think they should. They are also displaying it on their website, so you can do that. Okay. Let me go to slide 1 to 5 quickly on respect from Priya. 1 second. 1 to 5. Okay. Okay. So this is slide 2, which is more of an introduction for me. That's fine. I think you can find me on LinkedIn. You can add me there, not a problem. This is agenda, so you can ignore that. We covered that. Slide 4 is also like that. Slide 5 is talking about the 3.4 defects. There's not much you're missing, Priya, in the first 5 slides. Okay, I have some hands out. Kashinath, your hand is up. Do you have a question? Okay, no. So I can close the webinar. Thanks for attending. I hope this was help. Don't forget to complete your survey and please give us the feedback. Okay, because we tend to improve after every webinar, every training. Thank you very much for attending. I wish you all the best and looking forward to join this course. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. Thank you, Kashinath. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you, Priya. I'm going to close the webinar now. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you very much for your feedback. Yeah, call me Vikas. That's what I prefer. Okay, great. All the best.